What's going on, everybody, and thank you for tuning in for another edition of KusBallRoom. So last week was like the first edition of KusBallRoom, so I started off with like my point for the first one, and it was about Ish Smith needing to be benched. Now, a lot of you guys commented on the article posted on Piston Power, a lot of you guys commented on the YouTube video, and a lot of you guys tweeted about it. Now, you guys had a lot of statements, but in order for me to keep doing these videos, I'm going to need you guys to actually like post some questions. Like, actually, I'm going to talk about the statements you guys made today, but I need questions to have to answer. Statements are fine and we can go back and forth with debate, but I'm going to need some questions from you guys, alright? Okay, we can get started with this, but once again, like I said, start asking some questions. I like the statements, I like debating with you guys, but please, like, ask some questions so I have some things to go over, some research, and like answer your guys' questions about anything in the NBA. I want it to be more like about the Pistons, but if you have some questions about the NBA, that's fine too, because I need some questions from you guys, a little bit more than just statements. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started with this video. So like the first statement that I saw about my video was on my YouTube page. It was the first comment, and it's by Sco6Trey. And he brought up the possibility of bringing Derrick Rose to the Pistons. For those of you who don't already know, Derrick Rose was recently traded a couple weeks ago from the Cavs to the Jazz, mutually released, and he has till March 1st to sign with the team before he's done for this year. And now also, anybody who knows me knows that I have all of Derrick Rose's jerseys. I'm one of his biggest fans, so the fan in me would be absolutely ecstatic if the Pistons got him. That means he's playing for my hometown, which also means I can go see him whenever I want to. And I probably have a better chance of meeting him, getting to ask some questions. I've always wanted to meet Derrick Rose and ask him some questions. So the fan in me would probably be ecstatic for this. If only everything was made from a fan's point of view, but it's not. So from a basketball perspective, this does not make much sense at all for the Pistons because he's virtually the same player as Ish Smith. He's just bigger, so he won't be as big of a mismatch on defense, even though Derrick Rose is not very good defensively either. He's just bigger, so they're virtually the same player. They like to get the ball in their hands and they like to go to the hole because they can't really shoot the ball. So this does not make sense for the Pistons as much as I'd want it to make sense for the Pistons. I understand I've tweeted like multiple times that Derrick Rose could help any team off the bench that needs scoring. And the Pistons do need scoring off the bench, but not from the point guard position because Dwight Bikes is probably the only bit of scoring that we probably got coming off the bench. Now, if we didn't have any scoring coming from the point guard position, backup-wise, and Derrick Rose was out there, then I'd be all for it because I'm a fan and it probably makes sense for the Pistons. But that's not what we need, so that's going to have to be, as much as I hate to say it, a no to Derrick Rose. If the Pistons actually were serious about benching Ish Smith and bringing in someone who could actually shoot, they'd probably get someone who's a little bit better from three-point range, as Ish Smith shoots 27% from the three-point range this year, and Derrick Rose shoots 25%. So it's not like it's getting any better. Okay, the next question that I saw is also under my YouTube videos by Kevin Stewart. They agreed that Ish probably isn't best suited for our starting point guard position and brought up the fact that in the offseason, Stan McGrady talked about Langston Galloway as our insurance option in case RJ went down. Now it seems like that's been thrown out the window, and they talked about how they don't think that Langston Galloway, hasn't been given a proper chance. And I agree with Kevin that Langston Galloway should be our starting point guard. It's not like that we do as much like back in 2015-16 when we had all that pick and roll. Now, when Reggie Jackson was healthy earlier in the year, yes, we still did this motion offense, but we did still do a heavy dose of pick and roll with him. Without him, we've just been doing a lot of motion offense with like dribble handoffs. And I'm pretty sure Langston Galloway can succeed at that. Langston Galloway has 12 DNPs this year, which is, to me, is just unacceptable because we hard capped ourselves in the offseason, as Duncan Smith, who writes for The Athletic, always points out anytime he gets the DNP on Twitter. We maxed ourselves out over for this guy, and he has 12 DNPs, not like from him being hurt. We just decided not to play this guy. He's getting paid, what, $7 million a year? Why is he just not, like, sitting on the bench? What's even more, like, confusing to me is the fact that since Blake Griffin has played for the Pistons, which was February 1st, was his first game, Langston Galloway has had 3 DNPs. And in the first game with Blake Griffin, he played 3 minutes in the Memphis Grizzlies game, and over the last 2 games he just played garbage time, so that's added pretty much 3 DNPs there. Now, for a team that's been struggling with spacing, literally just spacing since Blake Griffin has arrived, why wouldn't you be playing one of our best 3-point shooters? Now, Stan, I can understand the whole argument. Well, if he doesn't play defense, he's going to give up buckets. I don't want to play him. Well, Stan, we've allowed over 100 points over the last 2 games. It's not like we're out there just being some defensive stoppers. And we have no spacing for Blake, and it's making the offense look like absolute garbage. So at some point, you have to choose offense at some point. So, like, to simplify it all, Kevin, I mean, I agree with you. I don't understand why he hasn't at least gave it a look, because I think he's fit better than Ish. We need shooting. I mean, with Ish and Stanley out there, it's not like we have all kinds of shooting. So I think Langston would probably be the best option, but probably not going to happen. Now, I had a lot of comments underneath the article at Piston Powered that has my video inside of it, by a bunch of Pistons fans, and we went back and forth, and we had good debates, and there wasn't really much questions, even though I would love to bring up one of the commenters, David Gledhill. He mentioned something which I thought would be good for the video. David pretty much said that the best option right now, obviously, is Reggie Jackson. We don't really have any other better options on the bench that can, like, sustainably get us some wins. And he doesn't even believe that when Reggie comes back, that he's, like, our best option to make us go where we want to go. He's just the best option that we have currently, so we're like stuck with him. And I agree with David that we probably don't have really any suitable replacements for Reggie on the roster. I mean, Ish can't shoot, so there's his downfall. Langston can't play defense, that's his downfall. Jameer Nelson's just old, so there's his downfall. I mean, we don't really have any other suitable replacements for Reggie Jackson, so I agree with him there. Well, how he thinks that Reggie Jackson isn't really like our best option if we want to go where we want to go as fans and as a Pistons organization, I mean, it's kind of a yes or no answer there. If this team is staying as it is for like the rest of Reggie's contract, then I agree with David. We can't have Reggie as our sole ball handler and expect us to like go far places. We can get to the playoffs, and we may even get to like 5th seed or something like that. But if I'm a Pistons fan, and I'm looking at it, I want to make it to the Eastern Conference Finals. I don't want to lose to anybody else but LeBron. That should be my goal. And then if LeBron starts to get older and his team starts to get worse, I want to eventually beat LeBron. I mean, we want to win championships here. Now, I understand Golden State's in the West, but that should be the goal. So if we're just keeping this team as it is, then Reggie Jackson at point guard, I agree with him. That's not going to take us as far as I would like us to go. But I'm going to make an argument that if the Pistons just get any kind of wing player who can just take the ball out of his hands at least a little bit, if Stanley Johnson can turn into that player, or if we can just get a player who can have the ball in his hands, I think Reggie Jackson can stay our point guard and we'd be perfectly fine. And here's why. Reggie Jackson had this like reputation as a ball hog, and I criticized him for it, and a lot of Pistons fans criticized him for it. But this year, he completely threw that out the window, and if you were watching, whether you want to be a hater on Reggie Jackson, I criticized him when I thought he was doing this back in 15-16, and even last year. But this year, he proved me completely wrong and proved that he could do it without doing that way. And he fit into the offense, and we were, as you guys saw, skyrocketing with it. And here's some proof of it. In 2015-2016, when we made the playoffs and got swept by the Cavs, when many people got to see Reggie Jackson in full action, called him a ball hog, he had the ball in his hands too much, blah, 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 blah. He shot 16 shots a game. This year, in this motion offense, when we were doing better than we were in 15-16, he only took 12 shots a game, which means he accepted the role of, okay, I'm going to take some less shots, but if it's for the team winning, I don't care. And that is great for the Pistons that he did that. Also, in 2015-2016, Reggie Jackson's usage rate was at 29%. This year, he cut that down to 26%, which means he was going without using the ball. He was accepting his role, and we were succeeding at it. He wasn't complaining this locker room cancer that people talk about. He was jolly. He was happy. The team was happy. The team was winning with Reggie Jackson not holding onto the ball as long as he was in 2015-16. Also, along with not having the ball in his hands as much and pick and rolling and isoing as much as people say he was doing in 2015 and 16, his true shooting percentage is just as high as it was in 2015-16. It's actually higher by 0.5%. In 2015-16, he had a 53.5 true shooting percentage. This year, he had a 54% true shooting percentage, which means he's doing better without the ball in his hands. Now, obviously, Reggie Jackson's best with the ball in his hands. That's what makes him so great. But the point in this is that in 2015-16, people like me criticized him for not being able to play off ball, and this year, he absolutely laughed at us and proved that he can play off the ball. Probably the biggest thing that he proved, not only did he prove that he proved that he was willing, because a lot of people, even me, I admit it, thought that maybe he was a locker room cancer and that he wouldn't be willing to, but once again, he shut me up, and he proved that not only can he's willing to do it if it helps the team win. A clear example of this is, look how many times Andre's been close to getting a triple-double this year. I mean, he's averaging 3.5 assists a game. Those have went down since Blake got here. But like before Blake got here, he was averaging close to 4 assists a game. Andre took much of that load onto his shoulders. Him and Reggie balanced it, and look what happened. Reggie Jackson was okay with letting someone else take the burden off of him and let someone else have the ball, which helped us win games. I mean, this was a long answer, David. So basically what I'm saying is, as of right now with this team presently constructed, I mean, you're probably correct that we're not going to go as far as we'd like to go with Reggie Jackson as our point guard. But if someone else can improve at the wing like Stanley Johnson, or we bring someone else in from somewhere, free agency, trade, something, and we get someone to put on the wing that can take a little bit more of the burden off and just be a good player with the ball in their hands, then I have no problem with Reggie, because he's shown that not only can he be a closer for us, that he can play off the ball and be okay with it. And that's going to be it for KusBallRoom this week. Thank you guys for watching, and I try to answer your guys' questions as best as I could, try to do better than I did last week, but like I said, if you guys want to be featured on here and want some questions answered, you gotta ask me some questions. I mean, I love the statements, I love going back and forth, but if you want to be featured on here or have me answer some things and get some more information out there, I'm gonna need some questions. Like, you can comment under the Pistons powered articles that I post on there. You can comment questions under there. You can comment the questions under my YouTube channel, or like I said, you can always tweet my Twitter at KusBallRoom, which I'll put right up here, or you can tweet the Piston powered account with hashtag KusBallRoom. If you like the video, go ahead and give me a thumbs up down below. Check out my channel and give me a subscribe if you like the channel. Go ahead and check out thepistonpowered.com. Check out my writing, my boys' writing. Go ahead and follow us on Twitter. Give us some support. Once again, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace out, y'all. Yeah, I know I just told you guys peace out and everything like the video was over, but I forgot something. I just started a new gaming channel. I put it up. It's called KusBallRoom. I was going to put the gaming videos on this one since I already have people watching these, but I want to keep it separate because I'm going to be screaming, you know, maybe getting a little wild on the gaming stuff, and this is more professional about sports and everything. So it's called KusGaming Channel. Go ahead and check it out if you like some gameplay. Subscribe, hit me up with some thumbs up on there, and share it around to everybody who wants some gameplay. Now this is for real. Peace out, y'all. I will see you guys in my next video now. Have a good day, guys.